My name is Stacey Johnson. I'm a senior social worker at Bread for the City, and I'm also the manager of the Housing Access Program, which you just heard Matt talk about. Bread for the City's mission is to provide vulnerable residents of DC with comprehensive services in an atmosphere of dignity and respect. I'm here to ask that this council push for increased funding for and increased policy focus on the preservation and creation of truly affordable housing in DC. I ask that you voice strong support for crucial affordable housing programs like the local rent supplement program and the Housing Production Trust Fund, and that in particular you voice the need to build more affordable housing. The purpose of the Housing Access Program at Bread for the City is to help our clients navigate the confusing and often onerous process of applying for subsidized housing in DC. We specifically focus on the privately owned apartment buildings that receive HUD subsidies, which set a tenant's rent at 30% of their income. To accomplish our goal and maintain a database of all HUD-subsidized properties in the city, track which buildings are currently accepting applications to their waiting list, in addition to the specific application requirements of each building. I created this program about 2 years ago when I realized that the majority of our clients were unaware that these affordable buildings existed, and that once they learned of the buildings, many of our clients were unable to successfully complete the application process because of limited English proficiency, inadequate literacy skills, or an inability to organize and maintain the information. Our program has been successful, and I'm proud of it. But the point of my testimony today is that the Housing Access Program and other programs like it should not have to exist. DC residents should not have to seek outside help, wait months or even years, and effectively gamble their resources in order to secure affordable housing. There's not nearly enough truly affordable housing in DC to meet the needs of its residents. In the time that we've been offering the service at Bread, we've seen several hundred individuals come to us for help, 275 since January 2012 alone. Many are disappointed to learn that they are applying to sit on a waiting list as opposed to applying for a vacant unit. We stress to them that this is a long-term process and will not serve their immediate housing needs. When we are asked what will help in the short term, we have very few answers. Many of those who come to us are already in shelters or doubling up with family and friends. Other short-term housing programs are limited to specific populations, such as those living with HIV and AIDS, those who are in recovery from substance abuse, those suffering with mental illness, or those escaping domestic violence situations. Several of these transitional programs also require a lengthy application process complete with a psychiatric assessment and an involved referral from a caseworker. Many of our clients do not fall into these categories. They're looking for work, already working at low-wage jobs, or receiving disability income and are simply looking for an affordable place to live. As you've heard and will continue to hear tonight, affordable housing in DC is a misnomer. In looking through the Sunday Washington Post this weekend, the cheapest apartment for rent was a one-bedroom unit for $650 plus utilities. This is below market average, but already exceeds the rental allowance for an individual who receives SSI income, supplemental security income, through the Social Security Administration, which is a set amount just shy of $700 per month. The only permanent housing that is truly stable and affordable in the city at this time are the units that offer subsidies and allow tenants to pay 30% of their income toward housing costs. In DC, there are 107 private buildings that receive this HUD subsidy. As of right now, none of those buildings have vacancies. Of those 107, there are currently 22 buildings accepting applications to their waiting list. Of those 22, only 5 are offering units without an age restriction or a requirement of having a disability, and that offer units larger than 1 bedroom, which would be suitable for a family. All 5 of these are located in areas of Southeast where many of our clients prefer not to live. Once placed on a waiting list, some individuals may wait months or several years before their name reaches the top of the list, at which time they're then subjected to credit and criminal background checks, and may discover that they are not, in fact, qualified for an apartment. This process is unacceptable. It is discouraging, dehumanizing, and discriminatory to the residents of the city who are in need of safe, stable, affordable housing now. The right steps to solving these problems, simply put, involve the creation of more affordable housing so that our clients and other residents in need do not have to wait in long lines and on long waiting lists for a place to live. That's why I ask that you support the local rent supplement program with dedicated funding, not funding from the Housing Production Trust Fund, that you support an increase in that funding, and that you support increased funding for the Housing Production Trust Fund as well. Do not pit these crucial programs against each other. City leaders should be strengthening inclusionary zoning requirements, increasing support for permanent supportive housing programs, and advocating for more truly affordable housing for people who need it now. Anything short of a recommendation for the development of substantially more truly affordable housing would be a failure to address the problem that we face. Thank you again, and I look forward to hearing your recommendations for the task force.
Thank you. Rachel Vaughn.
I'm standing in the gap for Rachel. She's not able to.
Very well. My name is Josie. Hello, panel. Thank you for the opportunity to testify this afternoon. My name is Josephine Brown, and I share 183 Oak Street, Northeast, which is a home that is owned by my church. My rent is currently subsidized through a traditional housing program. Before moving into my current unit, I was homeless and living in the DC shelter system for almost 11 years as a result of my issues with drugs. When I first became homeless, I immediately applied for every public and subsidized housing option that I could find. But nothing came through, and I'm still on the waiting list for all the various programs. I've been a member of my church for about 10 years, and they have a lot of confidence in me. Once they saw that I was on my feet, they gave me this housing opportunity. I'm very satisfied with the place that I live. The resident manager is very professional and the home is well maintained. What I want to speak about today relates to my experience in the shelter system, as well as what I think you can change so that other people can have a better experience than me. I have lived in all 3 of DC main shelters. I woke up early every morning for 10 years so I could be out on the street at 7 a.m. There are rodents, the food is of poor quality, and the bugs and the beds are very small. A lot of us who have lived or are living in shelters have experienced trauma in our lives, and we need counseling, which I think should be better integrated in the shelter system. My life is now back on track. I'm back in school and have been addressing my mental health issues with the counselor and through yoga. I know that if an affordable housing opportunity has been available to me earlier, it wouldn't have taken 11 years for me to be as in control my life and my destiny as I am today. Even though I feel like I'm in control of my life for the first time in a very long time, I have no control of the amount of money I'm required to pay for my rent. I'm currently on disability and pay $600 or 75% of my total monthly income to monthly rent. This leaves me with $200 for the rest of the month to buy my groceries and clothes and to use for transportation. I ask you today to please consider those of us making $11,000 a year when you define housing as affordable. Even though my unit is subsidized, I'm still paying as much higher percentage of my monthly income to housing than the average market rate renters in DC. I'm in a much better place today than I was even a year ago. But I know that my financial situation and fixed income mean that I may have to choose better paying my rent or buying medicine or helping a family member. I don't think anyone should have to make that kind of choice. Thank you.
Thank you.